Welcome to another episode of Not for the Weak-Minded. This is part 11 of the emulation of technological creation, which is my dissertation, which I handed in a month ago. It's not been marked, and again I will say that it's not really important what I get. What's important is they themselves see what's really going on. And so this is really the significance of the issue which is being researched, which is essentially, who do we all really work for, and how have they deceived, how has evil at the core of our society deceived us into creating things that go against humanity, essentially. So the significance of this work is to create awareness, which is consciousness, of the lies of our current paradigm, which is holding your soul and your pineal gland from activating a higher level of frequency to then get your true purpose. That by understanding where we come from, who we are and what we are, will bring, as Tesla said when studying the unseen world, unprecedented changes for the better of everyone. And this is what the globalists fear. That is our greatest potential. We have created all the solutions, but unfortunately you are not aware of them. An awareness of these solutions can save humanity. Now, unfortunately, a lot of information rests in the ancient past and understanding the time of the Golden Age and the time of when, archaeologically speaking, we found that there was a contribution-based society that worked for the gods, that had free energy, free food, and a better society, a matriarchal society that was a one-world culture. Now, this is essentially what most people don't understand, why what's going on today and how it relates to ancient past and the unseen world, because they've been programmed for the television to be in fear of it. And yet you go to the movies and you watch The Exorcist, or Amityville Horror, when they're all based on true stories. Annabelle, they're all based on true stories. So how do you not incorporate these things into it, and why are you so afraid of the normal? And the answer is because that's the programming. They've put you in a state of fear, to fear the truth in these days, and to fear reality itself, your own existence, because they've lied to us. And so when you incorporate the knowledge of the paranormal, which is very vast, it does hold the keys to understanding this reality and your existence, as I said, and much, much more to do with what's really going on and who's responsible. It can subsequently then help in understanding what we humans really are, and how this and how this reality really operates. That we have a soul and we are energy beings living in a biological body. That life after death is a proven fact from many recent studies of ghosts, out-of-body experiences, near-death experiences, and much more. Witness testimonies of what they saw, the messages they come back with. It's incredible. Knowledge from the ancient past to do with the pineal gland and halos, and how we ourselves have forgotten who we are, our previous lives. It has been deleted. Our hard drives have been deleted, so to speak, and we have to we've come into this evil world and we have to work it out ourselves. And then once you start seeing that this world is corrupted and so evil that and it angers you to the point where you think, oh, we got to do something. Well, that's it. You've done it. You know, you've begun your life mission, your purpose. But you have to know a lot of information. And so this is partly of why I'm trying to explain to you about the parallels between the ancient past and now, and how the technology relates to our soul, and how technologies now are designed by evil for a purpose of literally hive-minding humanity. You know, straight out of the movies, straight out of Game of Thrones. But you gotta see that is the television is not entertainment. It is designed and by evil for a purpose, just like the news channels are. These knife crimes, they're there for an agenda and a purpose. Nothing in this world that involves their matrix should be trusted. But unfortunately, a hell of a lot of you trust television rather than, well, what you can see with your eyes and logic and reasoning, which is basically science, you know, observation. Which basically proves everything they've said a lie, because we've got a local sun, the stars are local to our field of view, you know, and it's technology. That's why they can replace it with a fake one. You know, it's all about emulating the one world culture that existed, the golden age, and doing it their own way. And this, in the end, will involve God and your perception of it, because God is not a bearded man in the sky like they've been programmed to believe. It is, in fact, a artificial intelligence that is connected to a supercomputer that stores your data, that records your life, that judges your soul and your actions. It has parameters, which means somebody had to create it, which means God is not what you believe it to be. Yes, it is all powerful and is all knowing and all present, because it sees the world through your eyes, just like what they plan to do with humanity when they chip your brain, when they put a microchip in your hand, and when they turn on these RF5 frequency antennas that are already in place. So truth is Jesus. Jesus represents truth, and it is your only salvation. So Jesus is your only salvation because Jesus represents truth. Truth is your only salvation, and in these days, speaking it is a revolutionary act, according to George Orwell. And he's right, because people don't want to hear the truth. They don't want to know. They're quite happy in their little world that they've created through the television about this reality, and don't want to do anything about it. You know, and for all intents and purposes, all the shit that's going around the world that does affect every one of us doesn't actually affect any one of you, because you don't fucking think about it. You don't go, oh, what are the consequences of our actions in this country and our ignorance of it? You know, the bombing of innocent people in the Middle East? Maybe. You know, BAE Systems. So I want to express that to understand reality, you must know that every single core subject is based on false principles created by the Catholic Church, while they still use the truth today to literally go against the creators and you, because you're created, because you have a soul, you have a common enemy, and eventually they want to create a common enemy to literally unite humanity under one banner, as said by Reagan in '76, I believe, in a presidential speech, not just once, but 3-4 times, I believe. So they know what they're doing, because this relates to prophecy, and all intents and purposes, this has to do with time itself, because they've lied to you about everything. So everything's based on false principles, and that all these theories are entangled in a matrix, deceitful web of lies, and they keep it in the bloodlines. They, you know, in the 13 royal families, they once in history fought each other full power, but they realized that it would be better to work together to get their goals, to work together. This involves secret societies whose members who are in prominent places in our society and their connections to the Roman Catholic Church's agendas for a one world satanic economic religion. This is exactly what's going on. This has to do with the whore of Babylon. This has to do with the rise of Babylon. And I keep telling people Babylon is in America, but they're not listening. That, you know, that Elon Musk is building a particle accelerator 3 times the size of CERN, and that it is absolutely connected to the over expenditure at Denver Airport. No one is listening. So we all must wake up from our amnesia of selective controlled history and learn the true lessons of the ancient past, including the modern past, about World War II and who was responsible and who literally created the scenario in the first place, just like what's coming ahead of us right now with World War III. This is a war in mind, body and spirit that sees humanity at the center between two opposing forces. We ourselves are being used, our ambitions are being used, our passions are being used against us to work for evil, through money, through economic bondage, for the fact that we are all a corporate slave because every country is registered as a corporation. We're not free. None of us are free. You think you live in a free world with your fake peace, but this is it is a false perception. While the rest of the world get battered, you ignore it. It's got to stop. You must wake up. You literally must accept that the fact that we, our country, are the ones responsible. We are part of the beast nation, and this relates to prophecy and what the hell is going on us around today. Why we have all cultures literally in Reading, in London, just like what John Cleese was trying to say, that London is no longer London anymore, and he's right, because it isn't anymore. It is a corporation that has basically put all its other entities in and flooded this place for a damn reason, because we don't communicate with each other anymore. We don't want the same things. They've divided us in race and religion, yet we're all the same. Doesn't matter what colour you are, doesn't matter where you're from, we all must work together because we all have a common enemy. But they've divided your mind and you don't see it, and you don't see their signs and symbols, and you think the television's just entertainment, and you think this world is insignificant, when in reality it is nothing what you believe. And you must wake up and see that there's more to this world than you've ever could imagine, and that you have a mission, every single one of you. Once you start seeing what's going on, really understand it, you will activate your mission, your purpose, your true purpose here. Why you came down to be here in the first place, why you chose to forget things in the first place, so that you can prove to everyone up there that you're quite capable of working stuff out yourself in your own mind and waking up yourself, learning the truth yourself. It's an individual journey, but we're all collectively doing it as one, and we have destroyed their deception. But it's whether you want to go and look at it or not, and look at the other side of reality, which is to do with creation and the gods. We are the gods in intents and purposes. You know, we are higher level beings, and we are the light. The things we are dealing with here are very, very negative, low vibrational entities, and they hate the light. They absolutely hate the truth, and they don't want it spoken. So you best bear in mind that it's hard to find it, but once you do, you best keep going, and don't go, oh, I can't accept that because it's not what I want to believe. It is what it is. There's no such thing as a coincidence. And that's the way you gotta look at it. That's the way I've looked at it. I didn't judge. I don't judge. I literally just look at what the evidence is and then go look at research and go, okay, this guy's saying that, this guy's saying that. I'm gonna say it's probably in between. You know what I mean? One must read between the lines a lot in this reality. At everything they look at. Television, the media, everything. The radio. So currently, thanks to this great deception on our minds, most of us using frequencies, most of us are using our own energies for the purpose of evil without truly being aware of the disastrous karmatic consequences, because they're not paying for their actions. We are. We're the ones doing their bidding because they have got us to do it. You know, the people that are actually really responsible are not paying for their crimes because we're the ones doing it. So this is how it works too, about how to manifest your will, how to have in your mind answers and to literally try and manifest that as a positive change in your life, or as that I'm trying to do a cultural change, a paradigm change, where we can have the same things that we had in the ancient past, the same things that Tesla tried to do over 100 years ago, that absolutely take the power away from these people and change the way we live forever. You know, and it will bring, after the time ends, because there is an end, you know, because Jesus is the Alpha and the Omega, so he is the beginning and the end, which means that your souls will be judged. All souls will be judged, which means that there is an end. You know, you must see this world as not what you think it to be. In fact, you must see it as more of a game, and have a lot of courage to just do what you need to do. You know, don't be afraid, and trust me, every one of us is on their own little challenge and their own paths, and you know, you're never finished. You know, every day you learn new things, and you grow spiritually, and you grow mentally, and you grow physically into a more, I don't know, knowledgeable and person. You know what I'm saying? So we have been working for this agenda, and unfortunately a lot of us aren't aware of it, you know, because awareness is consciousness, and they don't see that we've all been working for evil, and that they've used us, they've lied to us, and they've been abusive with their powers, you know, corrupt as all of, and they're all corrupt. Every institution, they can't be, none of them, you know, the schools, the museums, every single institution and corporation is corrupted. So we face a very determined enemy who has planned decades in advance towards the near future in regarding their ultimate deception. And that has to do with, literally, as I said, like creating a scenario, first of all, where it starts depopulating the planet, werewolf free, and then use the survivors, round them up, put them in smart cities, chip them, let it settle for a few 20 years, and then boom, hive mind humanity. You know, and I'm not saying that they could take that long. They could do it now if they wanted. People are gullible enough to literally go, and they've already got some, in certain intents and purposes in our country and America, microchips in them. You know, the mark of the beast. So what time do you really think we live in? You know, it's all happening at once, and unfortunately the elite have escalated their plans by trying to do this closer to time than what is really written, and so it's very difficult for me to say exactly what's going to happen, what's going to go. You know, whether they're going to use the frequency devices, are they going to, you know, spread disease, you know, this is all of the above, really. I just don't know how and when and who, you know, and now we've got this Ebola outbreak, you know, supposedly, although it's going to happen, isn't it? You know, because they're the ones doing it. They're the ones creating the problems to begin with, you know. I mean, all diseases can be cured from frequencies, and The ancient past had monuments where you could just go in there and stand in there while it vibrates at 111 gigahertz and heals you, you know, makes you better, because your cells relates to technologies and frequencies. And this again is because they've lied to you about how everything really exists, including yourself, including, you know, animals, and how they talk and how frequencies relate to this reality. So yeah, of course, there are social problems. And eventually, after things get much worse, we'll decide to bring in the use of more unethical technologies for humanity's culling through more philanthropy and charity using the UN agendas. You know, the Sustainability Development Plan, which is already heavily in the higher education system, the Equality Act 2020, which is already trying to be in the primary schools about teaching 3-year-olds about LGBT. I mean, people, this institution is not about peace. You research how abusive they have been with their powers and who controls it and how it relates to evil at the core of our society still, and money, and these same people, and how they've been raping women and children in countries after we've bombed them, gone there for so-called peace purposes to help, and at the same time they've gone there and they went and they've built the schools, and they've went there and they've brainwashed them with the same indoctrination, took them away from their cultural heritage, their languages, their livelihood, you know, their ancestry. Languages are dying every day because of us, because we are the destroyers of this world, because we all work for evil. And this involves secret societies, it involves Freemasonry, it involves the Catholic Church and the UN. So this has to stop and be stopped and be truly aware of, or humanity really doesn't have a future at all in the Western civilization. Humanity has created all the solutions to solve our problems, like vertical farming, self-sufficient cities away from Europe, you know, that looks after themselves, free energy devices, again, that can literally transform our society. You know, everything can run on magnets, and they're lying. Because they want us to suffer through money, and they want this earth to be destroyed through money. Oil is not what you think it to be, and it is part of creation. They're literally destroying the planet. They've been bombing ancient sites connected to the creation, the vents, the pyramid sites around the world, and you got to see how this all relates to the destruction of the one world golden culture and knowledge, wisdom, truth about everything this reality has to offer. They hate it. They want to destroy it, and they want to emulate it. And they're getting away with it. Why do you think the gods are going to return? Huh? Why do you think? Because they're building a particle accelerator 3 times the size of CERN? In Babylon. Right. Okay, so what time do you think we live in, you know? The time to act and to fit, and it's been now. It's been a very long time. But you gotta know, you know, solutions, rather than be still part of the problem. Because a lot of their narratives are double-edged, and they come from 2 opposing ends, but they're the same. You know, just like the politicians, they both work for the same people. It doesn't matter if it's the left or the right, the blue or the red, it's the same thing. They have corrupted all walks of life, and now they want to basically make a one world whore culture. You know, this has to do with Babylon, and this has to do with the biblical flood, and why the gods washed away the most horrendous and sinful society that ever walked this earth, which we are becoming because we are ignorant of everything this world really is, and then not accepting of it, and then going, nah, I don't want to believe that, and then believing half the stuff but not half the other stuff, and being selective with what you want to believe in. It's truth. This is what you got to search for, and this is what you got to find. Answers. And that once you find answers, that leads to pathways, and that pathway will lead to more truth. And this is essentially what you're going to do. You have to. You know, I'm trying to help by bringing all of my knowledge into one, and it's still difficult. It's still hard to get across what's going on, and it's taken me a while. You know, many people don't even watch my stuff. You know, I guarantee they've started this one and they've turned it off. Boring. You know, I don't want to hear this person or what he's been up to. You know, like people's attention span on my channel is about a minute. It's appalling. It's really bad. Which makes me want to make better videos, but I need time to make better videos, and we're running out of time, and I need to make content. So anyway, stop babbling on. See, I'm Babylon. Where was I? Oh yes. So we have created a lot of the solutions, but they were quashed. They killed their makers. They put them in prisons without any type of court process. In most cases, patent, and took the patent and technologies away, and you know, so that we still continually trust and work for evil. And now they have you believe that, you know, global warming is our fault because they're the irresponsible ones doing the things that they're doing. You know, these corporations. It's funny how they blame us and then tax us for it, you know, and that they don't pay any taxes. They don't have to pay for their crimes, which is the ones they're causing. They're the ones destroying this created earth, and we're paying for it. Again, karma. Is it going to stop? You bloody best hope it does. Or is this earth ain't going to exist much more? You know, they want to destroy it now with technologies and frequency device that is literally gonna destroy everything. Destruction of this reality through frequency device. This is why they will return. So the people have always been the ones that make the change. But what you don't realize is that those whole time through history, the agendas have always been the agendas of the elite. You know, apart from maybe one, you know, the black rights. But again, that's just the societal, you know, problem, and which they caused for their racist ways, which a lot of people still believe the racist views of Darwin, you know, and the banking elite theories that hold their perception of reality today, you know, that you see on the television. You know, reinforced with repetition and lies and more lies and truth and lies and lies and truth. You know, they are ferocious in their attack on your mind, and it takes a great deal to break away from it. But the best way is signs and symbols and understanding Freemasonry, and why are these signs and symbols in these videos, and why are they in the, you know, the music videos, and why are they in the edit in the articles, and why the celebrities all doing the same thing. And then that's where you go, hang on a minute, there must be more to this, you know, secret society stuff. And then you realize it isn't actually a conspiracy whatsoever. It's a fact, you know, it's not. But it's how they've worded these articles and views on the television to make you believe it a conspiracy, you know, to make the people out there just plain old nuts. They don't know what they're talking about. I believe the narrative, thank you very much. No, don't trust the word anymore. Please, turn it off. Just go and read, do something else, you know. Find your purpose, man, in this world. So we are the creators of this world, really. We have created everything that for using their will on against us, and we've been all working for evil, including myself in my current employment. So if you don't even know that there are even solutions, and you do not understand that you've been deceived, because your mind relates to frequencies, and your subconscious literally does not turn off from birth, and it can and does take everything in, and through the power of suggestion, the television has made you react to and think a certain way, to read their narrative rather than seeing between the lines, to believe in a false perception of reality since birth that proves nothing but lies. So how, if you don't know these things, can you actually help humanity fight against its very now visible common enemy? You know, this is the thing. You need to be aware to bring your energies into this fight. You need to go down that rabbit hole, you know, far enough to know that you've been deceived by evil at the core of our society. And then once you do those two things, well, you will get your purpose. You will feel more energy inside your mind, and it will take time. These things take time, which is why I'm literally trying to give you a lot of the answers now through this work. You know, the work I'm trying to do on my YouTube channel. It's my life's work. Taking literally everything I could possibly muster to come up with to understand this reality and what's really going on and who's responsible, and how this relates to the ancient past. Everything. So thank you very much for watching. Please share, like, subscribe.